All right.
All right, guys, welcome to tonight's team call. We have a very special guest that I'm extremely excited to introduce and have talk to you because at the end of the day, I think we all have strengths in this business, and this is definitely a place where Greg Armfield has definitely taught me. So I figured why not give you all the best resources possible. I trust this man. He has amazing Beachbody business that he has started. So I hope you're really excited. A little bit about Greg. He is a 9-star qualifying diamond. He has 12 lifetime diamonds. He's a 2-time elite coach. He's currently Premier Success Club 5 legend. And then 40 consecutive months of that. And he has been Success Club 10 every month this year. So that's pretty impressive credentials, if you ask me. I met Greg last year. He hosts the Super Saturdays in DC. When I was actually part of the council, I got to talk to him and, just kind of swap information about businesses. So local-wise, he's a great resource for me, and he is amazing with the compensation plan and coach placement. So this is where everybody really wants to know. They really want to know, okay, now I'm in this business. Now I need to see where the income potential is coming from. So I'm going to leave it to him and go ahead and take it away, Mr. Armfield. Oh, and he retired from his corporate job. What was that? January of this year?
Yes. Yeah. December.
This year? Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I stepped it up to SE10 every single.
I was wondering about that because you told me strive for 5, and I was like, no.
And then they changed it, so now you have to strive for 10, right?
Right. That's right.
So, yeah, thanks for having me on your team call. Basically, for everybody who doesn't know, I had Kristin on my team call because I need her to teach all my coaches how to use Instagram. And so I'm going to, return the favor. And I am an Emerald personality, if you guys are familiar with Danny Johnson's gems. So I'm an Emerald Ruby. So I, want to dig into things. I want to understand things like the compensation plan, how to maximize your income. And then I'm also Ruby. So I want to, be the best. So, it's a good a good mix. What I don't have is what a lot of you coaches have is that sapphire, the bring the party and the attraction and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys will get something out of this, and feel free to stop me, ask questions. I'd love to help people and to, share, what I've learned in this business. So I guess just a little about me is I started as a coach about 4.5 years ago. I started with as a customer, like most of you people. I did P90X. I ended up losing 40 pounds. I got off blood pressure medicine. I, besides losing weight, like all my vitals returned to normal, and that was with P90X and Insanity, and then Shakeology, of course. I went back to the doctor, and he took me off of all medication, and he said, Greg, keep doing what you're doing. So that's when I decided I had to become a coach. Obviously, I wanted the discount on Shakeology as well, so that was a big driver for me. And I told my coach at the time that I was going to be a discount coach and not to expect anything out of me. So he placed me on, his weak leg, underneath, I think, his wife's inside leg, because he didn't know what he was doing with coach placement. So I am in a total dead spot. So if you guys are familiar with that, that means that I have no help at all from my upline coaches or sponsors. Okay, so everything that I've built in my team, I've done on my own. I've built a team of over 2,000 coaches now. And I have 3 business centers, 4 if you count my wife's, which I also manage. I know most of you probably manage your husband's account. I'm the opposite. I manage my wife's account in addition to my own. So let me share my screen with you guys. Share screen. 1 second. Okay, tell me if you can see that, Kristin. You good? Okay. So I put together some slides, and I apologize for you guys who have heard me speak at Super Saturday maybe a year ago. I kind of covered this, so this will just be a refresher for you. And also, hopefully you guys that are in this Washington, D.C. area will be coming to our Super Saturday in October, because we have Jason Diebald, who is the real expert in this, who is coming to talk about probably a lot of the same stuff. So, this will be a good, starter for you guys. But let me continue. So first I want to talk about, you as a new coach. Now, I don't know how many of you on the call are new coaches or not Emerald yet, but this is you. Okay, when you start, you're kind of alone in this business, right? You don't have a team yet. You don't have anybody under you. So what you want to do, obviously, and I tell this to all my new coaches and all my working coaches, after I explain this and I set their goals, they typically will reach Emerald within their first 30 days because they understand this and they understand how to do it. Okay, so in order to get to the Emerald rank, you need 2 personally sponsored coaches, right? One on your left leg and one on your right leg. Now, if I'm going too basic for you guys, you can just tell me to hurry up. But these are what we call your legs, right? You're basically 2 sides of a binary tree that's below you. Now, why do they call them legs? Because it's part of your body, right? Your structure that you're part of. You're part of something bigger than just you, right? So if you go into your back office and your graphical genealogy, it's kind of funny how many coaches, they never even look at their graphical genealogy. And for me, that's how I drive all my placement and all my business, is going and looking at it graphically. So above you, obviously, you have your coach, and your coach has, coaches under them, and then, you, and then you have your legs under you. So this would be a more accurate representation of what it looks like. So if you are on the left side of your coach, that makes your coach's left leg would be your strong leg. Now, when I signed up under my coach, I didn't understand this, and he didn't understand this. So he told me something that was wrong. He said, Greg, your right leg is always your strong leg. And I'm like, okay, and I was like, why? And he couldn't explain it to me. So hopefully this makes sense by seeing it, that if you're on the left side of your coach, then your left leg will be your strong leg, okay? And then your right leg, in this case, which we also call your inside leg, is going to be your weak leg, okay? It's also called your strong leg is also called your power leg. Okay, so let's say it's flipped. Let's say you're on the right side of your coach. So now your power leg, your strong leg, is your right leg, okay? Your inside leg is always going to be your weak leg, okay? So whenever you place coaches, and whenever your coach places coaches, he never is going to place them on the inside of his tree, right? You're always going to place at the far bottom right or the far bottom left of that tree. That way it benefits the whole team, right? So he's going to be placing coaches under you on your right side if you're on your coach's right side. So to get to Emerald rank, you need 1 coach on your strong side and 1 coach on your weak side, or 1 coach on your left and 1 coach on your right. Okay? Now what I say is always start with a customer on your strong leg, because you always want your spouse on your weak leg. Now, people say, well, my spouse is not interested in working the business. Doesn't matter. Sign them up. As soon as you find one other person that is interested in becoming a coach. So that person could be your brother, your sister. I tell people, don't be afraid to ask your parents. Do you think if you asked your dad if he would support you in this business for a couple months and drink Shakeology, would he be willing to do it? I would say yes. Most of the time, your parents would be willing to support you in a new business venture. So, I mean, that's an easy play. Obviously, you want to talk to your challengers and get them, interested. Some might just be interested in the discount. And if you explain to them about how they can save 25% on that Shakeology they're drinking, which is $32.50 a month, then a lot of them are going to be interested in signing up as a coach, right? So however you want to do it, all you need to do is find one coach. So it's pretty easy, right? So as soon as you find that one coach, then you sign up your spouse. So there's no point in you signing up your spouse until you find that one other coach. Otherwise, you're just paying $16 for nothing, right? Having one coach doesn't buy you anything in terms of rank advancement or money or volume or anything like that. So you find one other coach. That's your number one. That goes on your strong leg. Now, if you don't know which is your strong leg because your coach hasn't placed any coaches below you yet, then ask your coach. Ask them what side that you are on, and then write it down so that you remember, okay, my left side is my strong side, So then you set your preferred placement to that left side, and then your spouse would go on the weak side. Now, you might want to say, why does the spouse go on the weak side? Well, hold on. We're going to get to that, okay? So when it's just you, you're going to earn a 25% commission on everything that you sell, that anything that your customers buy, you're going to get a 25% commission on it, right? So we're all familiar with that. So if you sold P90X, Shakeology, whatever, you're going to make $25. Let's say we're going to just round it up, round it off to like an easy $25, right? So because they cost about $100 with the coach discount, or let's say something that you bought yourself, well, then you're going to get a 25% discount. But let's just say, for the sake, if you sold something yourself, you're going to get $25. Now, think about it if you did have your spouse signed up and you were an Emerald and you sold that same P90X or Shakeology, instead of through you sold it through your spouse, okay? So think about that. Now, the one thing that I tell everybody is, all my coaches are like, well, if I sign up my spouse as a coach, then I have to pay for them to have Shakeology to stay active. No, you don't. So anything else that you want, like programs or supplements or whatever, you can order those through your spouse. But better yet, put some customers under your spouse. If you have people that are buying Shakeology and they don't want to be a coach for whatever reason, move them to your spouse. You don't even have to tell the customer. You don't even have to tell your spouse. You just log in, to the Beachbody chat, and I just say, I want to move customer A to, my wife. And, all you need is their email address, their order ID, and I think their last order date or something like that. And they'll just move them right over. And then that customer will keep that spouse active. Okay. So getting back to our example here, if you sold that through your spouse would now make that $25. And because you're an Emerald, you're going to get a cycle bonus, right? So you're going to get a $14 cycle bonus. So instead of just $25, now you're making $39. Does that make sense? So that means that you want to push your sales down as far as possible, down your tree, so that you can make a cycle bonus off of every stop along the way. So, once you get to be 2-star, then you get to open up your second business center, and I'll show you how that plays into this as well. So instead of making a 25% commission, now you're making a 39% commission, okay? So cycle bonuses, basically $200 on your strong leg, $100 on your weak leg, a 2-to-1 ratio. That would be one cycle, right? As an Emerald coach, it's $14 bonus, right? So if you do the reverse, basically 2-to-1 ratio, $14 bonus, right? Pretty simple. So teammates. So obviously the teammates are the coaches that your coach is placing below you on your strong side. Now, all new coaches think as soon as they get that coach placed under them, from their upline, they're like, oh, I already have one of my coaches. No, you don't. I always have to explain that. No, that's not your coach, but that coach will contribute to your team bonuses, right? Your team volume once you get to become an Emerald coach. And it's also an indication of what side is your strong side. So if you have those coaches, you already know which side is your strong side. Okay, so advantages of being Emerald. Obviously, you get to earn team bonuses. As an Emerald coach, you can earn $250 a week in team cycle bonuses. Okay, so this is key, especially if no one here has probably been Emerald that long, but I have coaches that have been Emerald for 4 years, and they have teams that are like 20 coaches in their team, and they're still sitting at Emerald. Now, this is a problem because they're going to be capping out. They're going to be hitting that $250 a week just from their teams, and because they're not ranking advancing, that's going to be a big problem, right? Because when you cap out, it's not like that money just stays in a bucket and rolls over like your cycle bonuses will do if you haven't hit your cap, right? Basically, Beachbody just flushes that money. You lose it. So you never want to hit your cap. So that's the number one reason that you want to rank advance, is so that you stay ahead of that cap, okay? Obviously, you'll earn free customers now if you hit Success Club 5 as well as being Emerald. And, I typically get 10 to 15 customers now a month, just for free from being Emerald and hitting SC5. So that's a huge advantage. You don't have to go out and, find these customers or form them or, convince them to sign up for a free account. You just get them, and these customers buy stuff. So, that's an awesome reason for going Emerald, right? So growing your Emeralds, you want to be able to teach your Emeralds how to get Emeralds, right? So basically through this method that I'm talking about, it's, find that one coach. That one coach can be a family member, right? Talk to your family, use your family in the beginning, sign up that spouse, Obviously running challenge groups. I know you all are doing this. I'm sure you're experts at Instagram and Facebook and every other form of social media and bringing in those challengers. So that's an easy way to get coaches. Get them into some form of training, keep them engaged. I run all my challenge groups together with my coaches, and like all my diamonds do that. So we don't run coach groups. We don't send off our new coaches to run them independently. We run it together. Now they do, once they become good and start getting enough of their own challengers, they do, run their own challenges. But we found that running them together kind of teaches them and makes the groups bigger and more fun, by doing it together. So paying it forward, obviously the advantages to building Emeralds is you're going to build more volume, right? You're going to get bigger bonuses, and that's what we're after here, right? So I know a lot of coaches, their goal may be to, I want to, if you ask any new coach, it's like, I want to be 15-star. That's my goal, right? Well, that's not really my goal. My goal is to make as much money as possible with this business. Other than helping people, right? We all have the desire to help people. I'm not discounting that, but my goal isn't to be 15-star. Yeah, I would like to be 15-star, but my primary goal is I would like to earn as much money as possible in this business. And that's not by becoming a 15-star. So I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'll explain more. And then obviously with SC5 now, you get free customers, and then with SC10, you get the Shakeology customers. And right now I'm getting about 5 Shakeology customers a month along with their commission by hitting SC10. So obviously that's very important. So the next rank is Ruby. And for you guys who aren't aware, if you're not Ruby yet or if you're not Diamond yet, when you hit Ruby, you start to earn a matching bonus. Now this starts off very small, just like your team cycle bonuses. So, when you're Emerald and you've heard about these team cycle bonuses, and then when you finally get to be an Emerald, and then you start, you might get $14 once a month, right? As an Emerald, if you only have, the one you've only signed up your spouse or whatever so far. So, it starts off very small, but you'll see as your team grows and as you start to build up that weak side volume, that those team bonuses get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Same with the matching bonuses. Like when I first started getting these matching bonuses, this 5% matching bonus, basically it's 5% of the the team cycle bonus that your personally sponsored coaches are getting, right? So you're getting 5% of their team cycle bonus. Okay, so if you have coaches underneath you that are not getting a lot of team cycle bonus yet, then your matching bonus is going to be really small. But just think, once you get a diamond coach under you, or better yet, you get a coach like Kristin, who's a 5-star diamond coach underneath you, and you start getting 5% or 10% when you get to be diamond of a matching bonus. And now, if you're like me, basically you have lots of diamonds under you that are all generating that kind of volume and getting a lot of team cycle bonus. So then those matching bonuses can really start to add up. And the great thing about them is there's no cap on them. So we'll talk more about caps, but just know that the matching bonus is like one of the biggest benefits of this business. As you continue to grow in volume and in rank, you can potentially make more money with this matching bonus than you can with anything else. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So as a Ruby, your team's cycle bonuses will increase to $16 for every cycle, and your maximum, right, that you can make jumps up to $1,000. So instead of $250 at Emerald, now you jump up to $1,000 a week in cycle bonuses that you can make. Okay, so we all know the structure, right? Like I need 2 Emerald coaches, and I should have made those green instead of brown. I don't know why they're brown, but basically you need an Emerald coach on each side and then 1 other coach on each leg, right? So most people, as you're aware, they probably just skip Ruby because it's easier to sign up, coaches than it is to get coaches to go green and to go Emerald. So that's what I did. I skipped right over Ruby. And basically, if you just add a couple more coaches, right, on each leg, basically you need 4 coaches on each leg, and 2 of those being Emerald on each, 1 Emerald on each leg. Then you go Diamond, and then your matching bonus will increase from 5% to 10%. The cool thing about going Diamond, if you guys didn't know this, but you also get free coaches from the company. So, Chris, I don't know if you've gotten any coaches, but I have, and I typically get maybe 1 or 2 free coaches a year, which is pretty amazing, right? I mean, we all know, how hard it can be to, find a coach. And then when you just have a person that wants to become a coach, right? They want to sign up, and then they just get assigned to somebody. Didn't that happen to the top coach? I think she was saying that she just signed up to be a free coach and she was assigned to somebody. But anyway, I could be wrong. As a Diamond, your cycle bonus goes up to $18 and your maximum goes up to $2,000. Okay, so that's great. I mean, I know we'd all love to be making $2,000 a week, right? So Diamond will get you there. So Diamond is where you want to be. So I tell all my coaches, you want to get to Diamond, right? I mean, that's going to give you $2,000 a week. That's maximizing the income at that level, right? Because now you're at $18. That's the highest cycle bonus that you can go to. Your matching bonus is as high as it can go to. It's 10%, right? So that's why you want to get to Diamond as quickly as possible. And that is the number one reason that you want to get to Diamond as quickly as possible. Okay, so we talked about an Emerald has a maximum of $250, a Ruby $1,000, Diamond $2,000, 1 star $3,000. So basically you add $2,000 to your star Diamond, okay? And that's your maximum, right? So 2 star is $4,000, 10 star is $12,000. So 11 star Diamond, right? What would that be? You would think it should be $13,000 a week, right? But wrong. The maximum that you can make is $12,000. Okay, I can go back. Oh, there we go. If I go back, so 11 star, 12 star, 13 star, 14 star, 15 star, all max out at 12,000 a week. The only advantage that you get by going to 15 star, the only advantage that you get, other than the recognition and the title of Superstar Diamond, the only advantage that you get is you get a 15-star bonus, which is, I don't know, $20,000 to $30,000 a quarter, which is great, right? I mean, that's really good money. But when you're at that level, it's just, you've heard of all the coaches on the National Wake Up Call who are making that a month, just in their regular team cycle bonuses. So that's why I say I would rather build my team and my volume up to be making that a week or a month, as opposed to, just building up to 15 stars as quickly as possible and having a hollow organization, where you're dependent upon making, these bonuses in order to make, decent money. So, so we talked about this. Basically, you want, weaker coaches typically on your strong leg and stronger coaches on your weak leg. That's going to help you maximize your volume, okay? Because, right, because your coach and your upline is helping you build that strong leg, that volume is hopefully always going to be greater than a 2-to-1 ratio. I mean, that's your 2, 3, 4 times ratio to your weak side, right? So you want to build up that weak side so that you can cycle more, okay? So that's why, obviously you need to balance your sides in order to rank advance, right? To get to 2-star, you have to have a diamond on both sides. But, just in general, you want to try to load up more of your working coaches on your weaker side. Okay, so using your spouse. Your spouse is your first unofficial business center. Okay, so when you get to be 2-star, you get to open up your first official business center, right? So if you guys aren't familiar with, your second business center, that concept, basically Beachbody allows you to clone yourself. You are allowed to essentially create a coach underneath you who is you control, right? For me, it's another Greg Armfield, right? I have another coach ID and another coach account, underneath me, and I control that account. Kristin has one under her right now that she's beyond a 2-star that she's controlling. Now, every time you get that second business center, or I should say every time you get that additional business center to 2-star, you get to open up another business center. So you get to have, I think, as many as 24 business centers underneath you, all of which are you, right? So we all say that, wouldn't it be, you'll be set if you could find 5 coaches like you to build this business, right? You're going to be set financially. Well, Beachbody allows you to clone yourself, so you don't have to, necessarily go find 5 coaches like you. You can, start up 5 coaches that are you underneath you. So that's a huge advantage to getting to 2-star. But before we jump ahead to 2-star, let's focus on your spouse, because once you get yourself to diamond, so you get yourself to diamond, and if you need to take your spouse to emerald to do that, great, do that. Place 2 coaches underneath your spouse. If that'll help you get to diamond, do it. Then once you get to diamond, then you take your spouse to diamond, okay? So that will give you a diamond on your weak side. The other advantage to taking your spouse to diamond is now you're placing all your coaches on your weak side underneath your spouse, right? So you're placing those coaches underneath your spouse. But in turn, because all your coaches are now going on your weak side, that's building up your weak side so that you can cycle more on, right? Generate more volume on that weak side so that you get that 2-to-1 ratio and balance off that power leg that's been building for all these months that you've been emerald and diamond, right? So now you're starting. So I tell coaches, don't worry about that accumulating volume on your power leg too much right now, because once you get to diamond, you get your spouse to diamond, you open up your second business center, then that's all going to be on your weak leg, right? So that's going to help you cycle off that carryover volume that's on your strong leg. All right. So getting your spouse to diamond is the next huge step. Once you do that, and once you become 2-star yourself, your spouse is obviously one of your diamonds. You just need another diamond on your strong leg. Then you become 2-star. You get to open up your second business center. So everybody always asks me, where should I place my second business center? Well, you always want to place that second business center under your spouse's weak leg. Okay. So again, like, why do you want to place it under your spouse's weak leg? Because now you want to help your spouse build up her weak leg so that she can cycle more. And basically her strong leg is your primary business center's weak leg. I hope I'm not confusing you guys too much, but by placing your second business center under her weak leg, now you're going to cause her to cycle more, and then that's going to cause your business center to cycle more. So now think about this. Instead of selling that P90X and that Shakeology through your spouse's business center, now you push that down onto your second business center. So now all your sales should go through your second business center. So like every new customer that I sign up, it goes to my lowest business center. I don't sell anything through my primary business center. I have existing customers in there who buy stuff all the time and they keep it active, but I run everything through my lowest business center. Even your Shakeology, you're on Shakeology HD, don't buy that in your, when you become 2-star, so I'm talking to Kristin, don't buy that in your primary business center, buy that in your second business center. Okay, that way you're going to cycle on it. So I know Jason Devil says that, I think he has 4 business centers, and basically Beachbody is, because he cycles so many times on it, they're basically paying him to drink Shakeology is the way he phrased it. So, it's just a very smart thing to do. So moving on. So this is called stacking. Okay. I hope we're not getting too technical for you guys, but, instead of, let's see, I should say, like, if you have your primary business center and then you have your spouse's business center, and then under the weak leg, you have your secondary business center, and then under the weak leg of that, you have your third business center. That's called stacking. Okay. And that will help you maximize the amount of money that you can make. So let's say you had 8 diamonds underneath you. And each of those diamonds, like in my case, I have 8 diamonds, right, currently in my primary business center. Let's say those 8 diamonds all have $10,000 worth of team volume points that they're generating with their teams. Okay, so that would be a team cycle bonus of $3,600 a week, right? Which is great. We'd all love to have $3,600 a week, right? But look at it now, instead of having them all at the one level, if I stack them and I put them, if I had multiple business centers, if I had 4 business centers, and each of those was 2-star, instead of me being an 8-star, if I had 2-star, 2-stars, 2-stars, 2-star, now I would make $7,200 instead of the $3,600. Okay. Now, of course, I would be capped like we talked about. So I would have to get my primary business center up so that I could make, the full 7,200, but you guys get the point, right? Okay. So conclusion, this is how you want to build. First, just a reminder, get yourself to diamond, as quickly as possible. Obviously, if you're not emerald yet, get yourself to emerald, right? I tell all my coaches, get to emerald in 30 days. Whatever you got to do, whoever you got to beg, whoever you got to talk to, get yourself to emerald in 30 days. Then get yourself to diamond as quickly as possible. Then get your spouse a diamond. Then get yourself to a 2-star diamond so that you can open up your second business center. Get yourself to 5-star, get on the wall. Kristin will tell you, you get that additional bonus. You get on the wall, lots of advantages to being 5-star. But then, it's kind of up to you. It's like, are you recognition driven or are you more money and volume driven like I am, So, for me, it's like I'm currently 9-star qualifying. So 9-star is kind of like the sweet spot because you don't have to have 5 diamonds on each side to get, you have to have 5 and 5 to get to 10-star. So 9's, they say, the sweet spot. So yeah, I imagine I will probably be at 9 for a while. But what I'm more concerned with is the last bullet there. I want to get 5-star diamonds in my downline. That is my goal. And that's the goal that I've told my diamonds. And that's what I'm working towards. I currently have 1 5-star diamond below me. I have, several 3-stars and 2-stars and 1-stars. So, but, getting the 5 stars is what is really going to set you with an awesome financial, future, getting that foundation in place. And then the rest is just going to take off. So I went the wrong way there. So that is it. Let me, oops, how do I stop sharing here? Stop share. Okay, so Kristin, if you wanna open it up.
Every time I see that, guys, I'm just mind blown. Like, there's so much earning potential in this company. I don't think a lot of people realize that, because for me, I didn't. And now that is why I have seen such growth in my downlines, because when I kind of understood what the bigger picture was, is when I could start helping my coaches build faster. And it's proven, like, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand about Beachbody. So I was okay just being a diamond, and I was okay just being 1 and 2-star because I was rank happy. But then when I saw the earning potentials, and now I look back and I'm like, like, my husband's on my strong leg. So it sucks. Because now, it's great. He gets a lot of the same volume that I do, but now I'm having to work his weak leg. And there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different strategies that I could have done in my business to be helping my earning potential right now. But that's okay, because you get to live vicariously through me. And, now knowing this and knowing in the back of your mind, it's like, are we really afraid to get out there and start sharing and doing this? Really, it's like, you see normal people like Greg and myself, like, this is a real thing. It's just all in that mindset of, do I want to take the plunge and do I want to go after this, or am I held up? Some people are like, well, I'm Emerald Coach, I don't really see that much. And it's like, you just have to kind of understand how this works. So like Greg said, you have a downline, you have a team that's all kind of on the same leg working together. You guys create that team volume, and it just benefits everyone. So as you guys are building and growing, you will always hear me, hey, put this coach on this side. Hey, tell me about this coach. What are they like? Do you think they're going to be workers? Like, you can ask any of them. I'm like straight up creeper style, because I want to kind of like give them the idea of where they're placing people. So I think what I was going to ask was, for newer coaches, how do you distinguish between telling them to hit Success Club, 5 first, and then telling them, okay, well, you should put custom orders or challenge packs through your spouses? So to me, it would be kind of like, all right, where should I be giving my time? Should I be giving the Success Club points, or should I be giving them the volume? What would you say to that?
I would say the Success Club points, because those are so important. You definitely want to keep those challenge packs under you. But once I get those Success Club points, now I'm not saying I move every customer to my spouse, but after I get those Success Club points, the following month, if they're staying on Shakeology and they haven't become a coach, I'll move some of them over to my wife. Not all of my customers, but some of them, because obviously that'll help you cycle more and it will keep your spouse active, right?
Right. So that's a good point. Like I can think of a couple coaches right now that would really benefit from that and start utilizing like a little bit more of the cycling.
And let me give you another tip. It honestly, it doesn't benefit you. I mean, maybe if it's a cup month, benefits your team, but it doesn't benefit you really to hit SE 15 yourself. You would be better off to hit SE 10 yourself and then have the other 5 under your spouse. Or if you hit SE 20, have the other 10 under your spouse.
Right.
So now you're getting twice the amount of customer leads and twice the amount of Shakeology leads.
Right. Or Jeff Pearson was telling us this weekend, if you guys are unable to hit Success Club 10, which I encourage everybody to hit, like that's a non-negotiable goal for me. If you hit Success Club 5, if your husband's on your weak leg, you can have them hit Success Club 5. Like that's another route. Like you determine the number. So I talked to a coach today and she said her goal was to hit SE 10 for herself and then she was going to make SE 5 for her spouse. But again, he's on his weak leg, and just like Greg said, if you look at the compound effect, if you have SC5 in your business center for a year, what's that math, Greg? Like 60
I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a lot. So not only that, but you're getting that same amount of customers through free leads. So if you have your business center and say your spouse has SC5, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting more numbers, more probability for turning people into long-term Shakeology customers, or you're turning them into discount coaches who could potentially work the business like Greg. And earlier what Greg was talking about was Lindsay Matway was signed underneath of a free lead. Yeah. And that free lead actually did nothing with the business and actually called Lindsay a couple months ago and was willing to sell her business. So think of the volume that Lindsay Matway was the creator of the Bombshell Dynasty. Think of that volume sitting underneath of a free lead. She has no upline. There are some coaches, they have to build both sides. So don't ever think too, well, I'm not on so-and-so strong leg. This isn't going to work for me, because like Greg said, he had to build both sides. It's getting out there, duplicating yourself, getting people going, doing the vital steps that it takes to get there. And that is going to build your volume, and that's going to build your earning. You are going to earn your income off of team cycle bonuses. I'm telling you, like full out. And then if you're strategically placing them correctly, just like Greg said, you're utilizing way more and beyond the compensation plan that's set per rank. So it might be really, how many of you guys are just like,
mind blown,
like,
right?
What is going on? But do you see that you are part of something so big that even if you're not even working in this business, I have coaches that have like tons of volume sitting on one of their legs just from sitting there and not doing anything. And I'm like, look at what you could be doing right now. Like you could be cycling, just try, but you can't expect everybody to do this or want to do it. And, some people that you thought would never take off, they take off and they have these amazing downlines. So it's just hit or miss. But I want to, what questions do you guys have? Are there any things that just kind of confuse you or stuck out? Now is the time, guys. This is like, you're going to look at training videos in the back office on this. Take it from somebody who's been in this business for 4 years now and understands, like, please go ahead and don't be afraid. Unmute yourself. I give you full permission. Yes, please, Tiffany. By all means, sweetheart, go ahead. Steal the show, girl.
Okay, so I don't know if my video is working. I don't see myself right now.
It's not.
Okay, so you see my little gray head right now. I think that I'm similar to you, where because Liz started working the business, all of a sudden, I suddenly signed up my husband on my strong leg. So I'm just confused as to where I put my next working coach, who probably will sign within the next week or so. And I'm a little bit frantic trying to figure out what to do with her, because I think I should put her on my weak leg, but I kind of also think I should put her under my husband. And now I don't know what to do.
No.
Any advice would be great.
If you got a working coach, are you an Emerald coach yet?
No, I'm diamond.
Oh, you're diamond. Okay. And you haven't got your spouse to diamond yet?
No.
If you have a strong working coach, I would still place them under you. Okay, so I would place them on your weak side.
Okay.
Now keep in mind that like the strategy that I was laying out, that assumes that you have a real strong side, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're under Kristin and she's placing coaches below you, and I love that Beachbody added, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they've added the carryover volume to the Coach Online office now. It used to be only in the previous Coach Online office. So go look at your carryover and look at what you have on your power leg. So if you still have a huge carryover amount on that strong leg, then place that working coach on your weak side. Okay. So I would mainly put discount coaches under your spouse. Now, obviously they need at least one working coach, right, to get them to diamond, right? I mean, one working coach on each side so that they have an emerald on each side. But if you have a real strong coach who could take off and go diamond, you want them under you. So, and then you definitely want them on your weak side to help you. I'm not saying every strong coach you're going to want to put on your weak side, because obviously if you have plans to go 5-star, you're going to need, 2 diamonds on each side, right? Mm-hmm. So, but like right now, just helping you maximize that volume, I would add another strong coach to your weak side.
Okay. I think actually my volume on each side is, pretty much identical. It's very similar right now. So I was thinking of putting her on the weak leg anyway. So I guess that's where I'll go.
Yeah, I would just put them, honestly, I'm looking at your legs now. I would just say, if you're pushing for 2-star, I'd put her opposite of Liz or opposite of your husband to open that second CBC.
Yeah.
Right. Cause that's your next goal, right? As a diamond, your next goal is 2-star. So I'm assuming you're going to be taking your husband diamond, which means that you need a diamond on that other side, So, for me, I would put every working coach on that weak side until I got somebody to go diamond, because I know I'm my wife diamond, or you're taking your husband diamond, that's on you.
Yeah. Okay.
On you, but you can't count on necessarily anyone else.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Also, if you're not on a power leg, if you're not on a strong leg, you're like me. You might be in a dead spot, and therefore it's up to you to keep your sides balanced, which is a great place to be in. So don't feel bad about that. I mean, you can control your sides, and you can make sure that you stay balanced, which is not a bad thing. Because really, I've heard that a 50-50 split is the best option for maximizing your income.
Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else have any other questions? Anything you want to add? Like Ashley, like she's dead even. That's why I'm saying like they're in a spot where they're having. So Tiffany is under Ashley. Ashley's under Katie. Katie's under me. So that's 4 levels deep. They're all on my strong leg. We won't get into that. But so Ashley, she's building even. Tiffany's building even. Katie's pretty much building even too. So they're not in dead spots, but they're definitely not, you know what I'm saying? They're not like personally sponsored or anything like that. So
even if you placed your spouse on your strong leg, but your strong leg isn't really a strong leg, right? Because your sides are even, you can now control. I mean, just because, like I said in the beginning, right? Your strong leg is whatever side you're placed you on, but that can change, right? My sides have flipped, your sides can flip, right? You get a really strong coach on that inside leg, that could easily become your strong leg in the future. So what I would do is I would try to get as many working coaches as possible on that inside leg, so that when I open up my second business center, I can still place it on my spouse, which was my strong leg, right? I want to get that other leg to become my strong leg, so that I can stack my business centers.
Ash, go ahead, David. Tiffany, can you mute your mic, sweetie?
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So if once, hey, how are you, Greg? So once you place coaches in a particular part of your leg, be it left, right, strong, weak, that's a life sentence for that spot? Or can you like, hey, I just screwed this up, let's move it around to make it work? I'm kind of hearing that once you put them in where you put them in, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Is that true? Or?
You have 5 days in which you can contact coach relations to move a coach, but after 5 days, they're locked and they can't move. So
why is that?
It's just a rule that Beachbody has. I think because after that point, they start building their own teams and they start getting coaches below them. So if you're moving coaches, you're messing up the whole tree structure. Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. It would crumble.
Yeah, it would just be a nightmare if you had to move a whole team over.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, Ashley, did you have a question, sweetie?
So I need to focus on building Nick to Diamond first and foremost, correct?
Yeah, we need to talk about you, but yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And like after I hit Success Club, so I'm at SC10 now. I should focus on getting Nick those points.
Yeah. So you don't have to explain this to customers. You don't want to have to explain, well, I need you to buy this under my husband, whatever, So you just have them purchase the challenge packs under you. Okay. And then at the end, before the end of the month, let's say a couple days before, you just need to, go into chat with coach relations and say, I want to move this guy over to my spouse and this guy over to my spouse and this guy over, or send an email, however you want to do it. But at the end of the month, you just want to move, those 5 customers over.
Just customers though, we're talking. We're not talking.
Yes. Customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm getting those Success Club points and then I'm just moving him over for volume.
So you have SC10, right? So
yes.
Let's say in the next week, you get another 5 SC points, right?
Yeah.
You move those customers for those 5 SC points before the end of the month over to your husband.
Got it.
And you can just log into chat and say, I want to move customer XYZ, here's order ID, here's his email. I want to move them over to, as your husband. You log into your husband's account, you log into chat, and you say, I'm claiming this customer is all you're doing. And then over with the SC points.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
I didn't even know I could do that.
All right.
And someone asked if you can move leads over. You're talking free customers over. Beachbody discourages that. I mean, technically you could, but they don't want you to move over free customers necessarily, but you could if you wanted to.
Let's see. What other questions can we ask Greg since we get 5 more minutes of him? Can you guys think of anything else? I was trying to write down questions. Oh, so here's a question. If I did not know this, I have had my second business center open since January, and my Shakeology HD order still goes through my primary. Hey, blonde. So if I switch it to my second CBC, do I still qualify for the leads? Like, how does that work? Does it just roll up? Will it show in my second or in my first if I put it in my second?
Yes, you're still qualified. So it doesn't matter which business center you're in. As long as you have an HD order in one of those business centers, you're good.
Did not know that. So did not know that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Thank you so much, Greg Armfield.
And the coolest thing, Kristin, the number one reason to get the 5-star, which you're 5-star now, is because now you get access to the Diamond line, the VIP Coach Relations line.
Yeah.
And that is by far the number one reason. I mean, those guys are the bomb.
Yeah. I'm excited. I know my team's excited too. We don't have to keep going and, begging my upline for that. So I'm really excited about that. They said that. So we're excited. Ashley, were you going to ask a question?
So moving your Shakeology HD to your second business center is taking over the volume you needed from your first, is basically what that is.
Right.
So you don't.
But she has enough customers in her primary business center that she does not need that Shakeology.
Right. Okay. That was my question. Okay. So as long as your volume is there, obviously we know it doesn't have to be through Shakeology HD, but that's why you're able to move it to your second, because your volume is high enough on your first.
Yeah.
All right.
So
gotcha.
that 90 PV, so
Yeah.
90 times whatever, how many months we are into the year now.
Has been in your primary?
I've been in my primary when I could have been in my second. See,
Aww.
you learn something new every day. What
Oh
can
my
I say?
God.
So you guys are well prepared when you go 2-star. I'm just saying. I've only Bianca's my only like star diamond who it's like gotten to go through this, but we're learning slowly. But yeah, so that 90 PV goes to me, which will help with my cycle bonuses. So yeah, it's just you guys,
So
deliver.
like, as a 5-star, you need what, 200 PV to stay active, something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 1,000 PV that you're bringing in every month, you don't need 1,000 PV in your primary business center. You need 200, right?
Right.
So
Right, which is what I've been trying to say. I'm like, get to 2-stars so you can open that second business center, because once you do that, who cares what your volume is in your primary? Like, start putting in your second. Everybody goes into my second now.
Right.
Everyone goes into my second now. And that has been where my income has started to come from. I will tell you guys, my first year, so January to December last year, I hit Success Club 10, non-negotiable. I got those free leads. I had Bianca and I had one other working coach, and that was it. So now my biggest holdup, I wish I would have talked about the coaching opportunity, because I didn't. I didn't talk about it. But that's why now we do monthly coach sneak peeks. We do monthly business opportunity calls for you guys to help you build the confidence until you can start running your own. That has been huge success on our team. Huge results have come from that. And this is helping you build your business. At the end of the day, sometimes you get help from your upline, but it's up to us to create that. So if you're ever like, oh, dang, man, I'm like building all this volume for my coach. Like, I have an upline coach, and she has an upline coach, and she has an upline coach. So, but at the end of the day, I'm still the one building and making my empire, and you guys are doing the same. I'm just helping you along the way. And that's why I'm saying Greg can explain this way better than me. Obviously, I didn't even know you could put it in your second CBC with your HD direct, but hey, the blonde is learning. So, I think somebody was Tracy. Were you getting ready to unmute your mic? She's frozen now. I thought somebody was going. No? Okay. Anybody else? No. They're like, all right. Well, Greg, thank you so much. This is amazing and awesome. I know you got them fired up. I see it in their eyes. I see a couple of them. They're just ready to rock and roll. So you guys, if want to get a picture, sure. Can we get a picture with you, Greg?
Sure.
Yay. Who wants to take it? Tiffany, you got to show your video. It's not going to work.
I don't know. I've been looking at it the whole entire time trying to figure out
Look at the
why.
bottom of your phone and put the...
I'm not on my phone. I'm on my computer. That's why I can't figure out what's going on.
Go to the bottom where it says video. And
There's nothing that says video. That's why I'm so confused.
Oh, okay. Do you want to take the picture? Can you see us?
Sure. Yeah. I feel like such a blonde. I've been trying to figure this out the whole time.
It's okay. All right, everybody smile. Hi, Sue.
Hold on. How do I get it to show all
She's
of us?
getting married this weekend. Yay! All right.
Does everybody look pretty enough? Are we happy?
Yep. Greg, you look marvelous, darling. And David, you guys are rocking it.
Okay, I got like 15 pictures. I think we're good.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, attraction marketing,
You have to give a countdown or something. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took like 7 pictures. There's got to be one, okay?
All right.
All right. So, yeah, real quick. So, Greg, our team is planning on coming to DC Super Saturday. we have been trying. I know we've been trying to like do something in Fredericksburg, but we're like, we're going to give this one more go. We'll go to DC first. So we're going to have a huge crew. So we need to like, I don't know if we need to do VIP seating or whatnot, but we're going to have a pretty big crew coming up. So we're excited. But yeah, thank you so much. This was awesome. This is great. Hope we can do it again. We can swap anytime you'd like.
Okay. And if you guys have specific placement questions, feel free to, hit me up or whatever, and I can help you out. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We need like a monthly refresher or something.
Right. Yeah, we're like, all right, now we're this rank. What do we do?
Exactly.
I'm going to need you for 5-star. That'd be great.
Thank you, Greg.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.